Hello, I'm Bishop Garland Hunt. This is the Power of Hope devotional. Welcome back. I love those that have followed me faithfully. Feel free to make a comment there. It definitely inspires me when you do. And so I want to talk to you today. And usually I start off maybe asking questions, but when sometimes if somebody's kidding you or you're joking around and they feel like they have the up on you, like maybe if you're wrestling or you're doing some things or you're talking about something and they say to you, who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? So that's like saying, I'm over you or I'm as a daddy to you. Who's your daddy? But I want to ask you this question. Who's your mother? Who is your mother? So, well, Bishop, why are you asking that kind of question? Why are you asking me who's my mother? And what difference does it make on the devotional? What difference does that make? Who's my mother? Well, actually, I'm asking a question that Jesus asked. So don't get mad at me, get mad at Jesus. Don't get upset with the bishop. Get upset with Jesus. Jesus said, who is my mother? You did. So you know the scripture now. You might be trying to figure out where I'm going. So it says that Jesus was speaking. This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 46. Listen to this. Listen now. And Jesus was speaking to the crowd, and his mother and brothers stood outside. You could almost imagine this. He was inside the temple. He was talking to the crowd, and so he was carrying on the business of the kingdom. And they said he's outside asking to speak with him. So the mother and his brother were outside asking to speak with Jesus. And so someone told Jesus, your mother and your brother were outside and they want to speak to you. Very clear. Well, there's nothing that should be uncertain about that. If somebody, I don't know, maybe if the president was doing something and they said, well, your mother and your brother are here to see you, or it could be anybody, really. They probably would say, well, hold on, give them a minute. I'll go see them because you have a special relationship with a mother and a brother, and both of them want to talk to you. You would think that he would stop what he was doing and go attend to his mother and a brother based on the blood relationship. And he said, Jesus asked the question, who is my mother? Who's my mother? Now, well, hold on. You don't know Mary? You don't know your mother? You got dementia? Jesus, what are you talking about? Who is your mother? And he says, who are my brothers? Jesus, you don't know who your mother and brothers are? Why would you ask such a question? But Jesus was making a point. And it says, then he pointed to his disciples. Now, he pointed around to those that were with him. He was pointing around to those that were with him in terms of a relationship with the Lord, in terms of the intensity and purpose and dedication to the Lord. And he pointed to the disciples and said, look, these are my mother and brothers. Okay, again, sometimes Jesus would really, kind of fool you. He pointed to his disciples, which were probably all men, and he said, these are my mother and my brother. What? And then he goes on to say, anyone who does the will of the Father is in heaven is my brother, mother, and sister. Anyone doesn't. That's my brother, my mother, and my sister. In other words, listen, you got to do the will of God to be that close to me. My priority would be the people that are serving God, not the people of my blood. Now, I know this is strange because I know in most cases, blood is thicker than water. But for Jesus, if you're going to follow Jesus in the explicit example of the scriptures, he was very clear that his devotion and his priority was to teaching the disciples, working with the disciples, and spending time with them, even more so than his own mother and brother or sister or whatever the case, because blood wasn't thicker than kingdom. I'm saying to you, blood needs to be thicker. Now, it may not be your brother or mother, but it may be an old friend. It may be somebody that you feel some type of relationship with, a soul tie with, or something like this, girlfriend, whatever it could be. But are they doing the will of the Father? Are they committed to the will of the Father? Are they doing the will? Well, that may even be an assumption that you are. Listen, my time's up already. I want to ask you a question. Who's your mother? Your mother of those that are doing the will of the Father with you. This is Bishop Garland Hunt. This is the Power of Hope devotional. I'll talk to you next time.